Vets of Reddit, what was the worst pet name you have ever encountered in your job? Klitzy. Sexy, for a chihuahua. Just made the whole consultation very awkward. My old neighbors apparently thought it would be a good idea to let their 3-year-old name their dog. The dog was named Dump Truck.
My friend's aunt has a cat named Titties.
Old neighbor lady had a cat named Face. Because it had a beautiful face, she said. Obligatory, not a vet. I was in the vet's waiting room, and there was a puppy with a woman and a child. The puppy was named Dave, the child was Atari. Edited to say, oh wow. Thank you so much for the awards. This is the first time I've been given any. Consider I've curtsied. Diolch ynfawr.
My dad has always wanted a dog named Askham. So when someone asks what your dog's name is, you can just say, Askham. Edit. Thanks for the free awards.
I was once at the dog park and this lady kept yelling at her dog. Kevin. Get over here, Kevin. Let me take your picture, Kevin. Kevin. Kevin was an old, overweight black lab. I still laugh when I think about it.
Ex-girlfriend was a vet nurse. She came across a cat in the system called Horatio Bradshaw Roadwork. Edit. Thanks for the gold. Don't be a shit lord, I'm just being polite.
My brother-in-law named his cat Salad.
My first pet that I can remember getting was a fish when I was about 3 or 4 years old. I named him Clock because I happened to be looking at a clock when my mom asked what I wanted to name him.
Kitty. Now you may be wondering why that's a bad name. Kitty was an iguana. Edit. Should add I met this iguana when I was taking my dog to the vet. I'm not a vet.
I'm not a vet, but this is somewhat related. One of our dogs is a pug. We got him a long time ago from a bad home. My wife and I kind of waited around too long to give him a proper name. So now we still just call him Pug or the Pug. I'm a little embarrassed when I take him to the vet and they ask his name and it's just Pug. Skeptical smiley face.
My dog's name was Freddy. The vet put it in as Freddy. I felt so ridiculous, and never told them, that's not how he spells his name.
Not a vet, but I once knew a cat named Hitler. He was named that because he was all white except for a black spot where the mustache would go. He was a stray, but everyone in the neighborhood knew him and left food out, and he answered to that name. Edit. Jesus fucking Christ, I get it. Hitler. Very original. 127 replies.
My cat's name is Shoe.
One of my boys wanted to name one of our dogs Meat Stack. My son was 6 when we adopted the puppy. Same kid wanted to name his brother Turtle Flower when he was born. Needless to say, he is not in charge of naming things in our household.
There was once a guy that was selling his black cat. He called it Ustasa. Ustasa was a group of soldiers from Croatia in the 1990s. They are taboo today because of the crimes, things they did. Envelope.
My cat's name is John Hinckley Jr., because he was a stray that stalked me for a year and killed things to give me as offerings.
Not a vet. I know, sorry. My dad adopted a stray cat who wandered into his yard once. The first time he saw the cat, not much past kitten stage, his response was, "What a little shit." Little shit became the cat's name on the vet paperwork. The sad part was that she got her leg caught in a door once, and ended up having it amputated. Which led to a really awkward conversation in grade school, before I was old enough to know better, when I told my teacher that, my dad has a cat with 3 legs, and her name is Little Shit. Not a vet, but my roommate's cat is named Feline Dion. I wanted to call her Chairman Meow. I ended up calling a stray in the neighborhood Chairman Meow instead, and the personality matches. Edit. Here's Feline Dion. I'll try to get pictures of Chairman Meow later, but he's very skittish and afraid of humans. We've been feeding him a year and he still won't come near us. Edit 2. I got a shitty picture of Chairman Meow. He's the dumbest cat I've ever met, but very cute.
I used to volunteer, not as a vet, at an animal shelter. We had to give all the stray cats, dogs that came in names, for in the database. They had to be unique because sometimes you had to do a search and you can't have the name Simba popping up 1,000 times. It happened. So one time we had 2 dogs that came in together and they named them Sala and Mi Salami. It was just for during their stay, the owner was free to change the names. So not that bad, and my coworker was very creative.
When I was a kid down south, there were at least 2 black dogs named in my neighborhood. It was pretty common.
My grandmother's jet black and incredibly angry cat was called Rainbow. Edit. I'm not a vet either.
Not a vet, but I took in a cat from a family named Lord Whimsalot III. Yes, there were previous Lord Whimsalots. We nicknamed him Wimmy.
In the South, I was in a waiting room with someone who brought their chicken named Tika. Like chicken tikka.
Not a vet, but I lived in the Marshall Islands for a few years and I noticed that all black male dogs are named Lequilimej, black boy, all white male dogs are named Lamoujuge, white boy, all brown male dogs are Lebaron, brown boy, and all black and white dogs are named Oreo. When I adopted my 2 cars from the shelter, the staff had named them after internet browsers and search engines. I got Google and Explorer. Another couple got Firefox and Bing. Mine were promptly renamed.
Raccoon. Our daughter was 3 when she named the all-black cat. I still have no idea why she named him that. He does appear a bit chunky like a well-fed raccoon now.
Not a vet. Growing up, I had a friend who owned an iguana named TDI. That damn iguana. Named by his mother who hated it, as I recall. Edit. I'm cracking up that my highest rated comment has to do with that damn iguana. Tears of joy. Edit 2. Thank you for the awards, kind people. Please don't spend actual money on them for me, though. Use it to buy something nice for yourself, instead. Heart.
So I'm not a vet, but I'm deeply involved in the horse world. There's a discipline called halter, and many of the horses are genetic atrocities to begin with. They've been bred to the point of uselessness. When naming quarter horses, many breeders like to create a registered name that incorporates the parents' names and bloodlines. So, somebody bred together the stallion Kids Classic Style and the mare Look Intouchable. The best name that the breeders could come up with for the foal? Kids Look Intouchable. Yeah, that's the best they could come up with.
Obligatory. Not a vet, but my history teacher told us that he let his daughter name the cat when she was very young, and she called him Fluffy. Years later she decided to rename him Milo. History teacher lived in a fairly rough area of the city and didn't exactly enjoy yelling, Fluffy into the night to get the cat home.
My cat's name is Soup. The vet jokes we ought to start calling him Stew if he keeps getting wet food since he's a little chunky. Edit. Cat tax.
Probably mine. My last name starts with K, and I was a captain in the USAF. For some reason, Captain Crunch stuck with me. Edit. Well, shit, maybe I should read the responses more carefully. That kind of vet. Edit number 2. Thanks to all who rewarded my stupidity. Your acts of kindness will not go unnoticed. I will look for someone equally inept as I am, and pay it forward.
Not a vet, but have worked with pets over the years. There was an old GSD named Waller, a Lhasa named Shitsky and a cat named Bird Dog. Best name ever was a one-eared Chihuahua mix named Vincent.
Not a vet, but an owner. When my German Shepherd goes in, I tell them he responds to dog. His actual name is Dante, and he comes running when anyone even breathes it. But if all I want to do is get him to look over to me or to stop whatever he's doing, I just say dog. Also, he gets very very excited whenever anyone tells him he has fat butt disease, The Office. He pushes you around with his big butt asking for scratches. Vet's office staff seemed very pleased with this information. We keep calling his name but he doesn't get excited at all. Just tell him he has fat butt disease.
I feel the need to share my own pet names here. One of my chickens is named Lego. One of my previous cats is named Solid. One of my previous cats is named Cat. One of my cats is named Troll. One of my other chickens is nicknamed Terrorhuhn, which is German for terroristic chicken.
A cat named Monster, which wouldn't be that bad. Except that the family's last name was Johnson. Monster Johnson, ha 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 ha.
I'm not a vet, but 2 of my cats have names that often get raised eyebrows when they go for checkups. Shitten and Jugs. Edit, Shitten for anyone curious. She also goes by Barge Ass and Fat Guinea Pig. Edit 2. I feel much regret for not sharing my Jugs with Reddit.
In Polish rural areas almost all black dogs used to be called Murzyn, Negro. And #X200B. Edit. As some people noticed, Murzyn is not a Polish N-word, that would be Zarnuch, if anyone's interested, but it's still considered pejorative.
Vet Tech here. Worst one was hands down, Tubgirl 96. It was a name given to a sweet, young adult female cat. The owners thought they were funny.
Not a vet, but I saw a posting for a cat named Fawcett.
I'm not a vet, but I've met a dog before named Neutered. The owner said that it will always make the dog remember the owner has the power and not the dog.
Not a vet, Fuckknuckles the cat.
Not a vet, but I once picked up a loose Great Dane named Ben Stiller. Should have kept him.
My BS friend had a cat named Super Pussy the Wonder Slut in another mobile home. BF also calls my cat Bitch Boy Bob and the cat responds. Not a vet, sorry, but I worked in a dog kennel for 12 years. Worst names were a pair of Labradors, one white blonde and one black. Their names? Kraka and Tarbaby. The owners were the most trailer trash redneck hicks you could ever imagine.
Not a vet, but Murica was her given name. I rescued and gave her the name Mercy instead.
Not a vet, but my boyfriend and I each got a gecko a few months ago, housed separately, don't worry. I named mine Baby. We had to take her into the vet because she was having difficulty eating. My boyf called in to the vet and they asked him the name of the gecko. He said, Baby, and the receptionist went, what did you just call me? And he was like, no, the gecko's name is Baby, I'm sorry, and we all had a good laugh about it, but I definitely had the biggest laugh.